Hey there folks, my name is Empty Berry and welcome to today's episode of Lore to Go. Today's episode is going to be summarizing the new lore book that came with the collector's edition of the Witch Queen expansion for Destiny 2. There's a lot of juicy stuff in here, including talk about ghosts, the nature of Stasis, what Mara was up to when she left the Dreaming City, and more about that one night between Lord Shaxx and Mara Sov. We also learn of a guardian that is so powerful, it's guessed that they are among the 10 most powerful guardians to have ever lived. Stick around the end of the video to find out who they are. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel in order to see more videos about characters and events in the Destiny universe. With all that said, let's jump into it. The book begins with one of Ikora's hidden, Chauko, sending a message to her about studying unpaired ghosts, those which haven't found a guardian yet. For the most part, they argue over the nature of picking a guardian and about the relationship between ghosts and guardians. However, they do note that most of them really like the Books of Sorrow. They seem to pity the Hive, viewing them as victims of a cosmic parasite that tricked the poor Krill into eternal slavery. This is mildly concerning, considering that whole, Hive ghost thing we know about in Witch Queen, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Right? We then go on to learn about the Creed of the Hidden, which is unofficially the Vanguard spy network and was founded by Ikora Ray. It is as follows: find thyself, know thyself, destroy thyself, shed thyself, embrace a new skin, become the many, we are as unseen, we are as death. In short, this means to determine who you really are via a means of measurement that matters in respect to the universe. Then find your weaknesses and destroy them, becoming someone new, someone who can escape their nature and ascend. Then embrace the void, be able to become anyone, and then you can do anything. In general, this seems like a pretty unhealthy concept, as evidenced by Ikora stating things like, "I laugh much less," and "I sometimes lose sight of which way is forward." The book continues with a short glimpse into Ikora and Zavala playing a board game. Ikora makes some move that is suboptimal, but she does it because she wants to see where the game goes if she makes a move she has never made before. Zavala is upset because he feels she isn't trying to win, while she wants to explore a new path in the game. This game seems to slightly mirror the games that the Gardener and Winnower played prior to the existence of the universe, with the Winnower wanting to follow the straightforward and most optimal path, while the Gardener wanted to explore complexity and different opportunities. Ikora then receives a report detailing research into Stasis and its nature from one of the Hidden named Truce. It begins with an observational report, in which it is explaining about how Stasis has decreased over time in its potency against Guardians, which is a clever way of recognizing nerfs in-game. Truce believes that Stasis itself is changing, and he mentions it is similar to a virus. A virus will over time mutate to be less lethal to its host, so it has a better chance of being passed on to others. He believes that Stasis was too powerful and wasn't being used as much, so it became nicer in hopes that more people would use it and wouldn't think it was as bad. Overall though, he isn't able to make any conclusive claims about whether Stasis is just a tool or whether it is inherently dangerous in relation to the darkness. Truce's ghost, Cowlick, also delivers a report about the scientific nature of Stasis. This is dense to say the least, and frankly I don't understand half of it. If you have a degree in quantum mechanics or physics, maybe you can make better sense of it than I can. One part that stood out though was a discussion on the nature of the particles within stasis crystals. It talks about how different parts which appear to be competing with one another, with those that are superior taking over those that aren't. This sounds a lot like the Winnower's idea about a final shape, which is stronger and calls out all other possibilities. In the dawn of the universe, the rules of the flower game spread out into the universe and became the Vex. Cowlick notes that the crystals exhibit symptoms of a quantum computer, with a high ability for computation. This lends some credence to the idea that the crystals house some type of proto-Vex. They note this as something to keep an eye on, as it could be very concerning if that theory proved to be true. The lore book then devolves into a lot of Ikora doubting herself, and generally just needing therapy. She laments how guardians like those that are easily defined, such as Cade, Zavala, Shaxx, and Eris, but she does not fit into any of those molds. She continually doubts herself and her ability to lead, and struggles to answer the questions of other guardians. Even Honor, one of her most trusted Hidden, questions her decision-making abilities, going so far as to question her purpose and why she is not hunting down stasis users. She opens up about her doubts and concerns to Chauko, worried that she is becoming the worst woman to have ever existed. It goes on for a while, but the gist of it is, Ikora needs to go see a therapist. She is suffering from some serious imposter syndrome. Are there even therapists for Guardians? I'd imagine there probably should be, but I don't even think I've ever heard of one. On to one of the biggest reveals, we learn more about Lord Shaxx and the fated The Helmet Stayed On event. Shaxx tells Ikora about the night that he spent with Mara Sov, in which they shared a night of passion. However, this passion was expressed simply via the telling of the play The Tempest. Afterwards, they spoke of Mara's personal confidant, Shur Ido, who both Shaxx and Mara greatly admired. Shaxx regaled Mara with stories of Shur's greatness, while Mara spoke of how she was fanatical in her devotion of her. Shaxx did not believe this, and Mara told him that she would only tell him the truth if he took off his helmet so she could look into his eyes. Shaxx refused, though, and thus the infamous "the helmet stayed on" statement was born. The book continues with a message from Fenchurch to Ikora. In this report, he talks of Eris and Mara Sov, specifically where they went after Mara left the Dreaming City more than a year ago. Mara was in discussions with the Exo-Stranger and learned from her how to track pyramid ships. Mara utilized this information and prior communication with the Nine to locate a pyramid ship on a distant dwarf planet. Her and Eris traveled to the planet in an attempt to destroy it before it could reach the Sol system. Upon their arrival, Mara contacted the ship, though it's unclear if she entered into it. It is unknown what happens next, but the outcome was Mara's death. Eris was able to bring Mara back to life via her throne world, but they both had an interaction with Savathun in the process. From there, the two of them descended to the surface of the planet, where they investigated a debris field. It is unknown if this debris is from the pyramid ship, assuming Mara destroyed it, or if it is unrelated. During this time, Eris was gravely injured, but Mara healed her wounds. At this point, Eris was unsure of their survival, so she created a log of their journey, sent it to Luna, and compelled a lesser hive to take it to a guardian, which is how it got to Fenchurch. This whole exchange is fascinating in its implications. If Mara discovered a way to destroy pyramid ships, that's a very powerful tool against the darkness. Additionally, Eris can somehow control Lesser Hive now, which is pretty cool, but also a bit concerning. Towards the end of the lore book, we come to a humorous exchange in regards to the Cabal. Empress Keitel sends a message to Ikora demanding any information the Guardians may have regarding the whereabouts of the prior Emperor Callus. Ikora discusses it with Zavala, confirming that neither of them have any idea of his location. Ikora also proposes to Zavala that he should consider a state marriage to Keitel to solidify their alliance. Zavala, amused, asks her if she has considered marrying Keitel herself. In the conclusion of the book, we come to an analytical report in regards to Ikora Rey. It is customary for Guardians to be tested for their capabilities in the light and in combat. However, Ikora had previously resisted all attempts for the testing. The report states that Ikora is, well, a badass. She's considered a 5th Sigma Guardian, meaning she is one of the top 10 most powerful Guardians in history. As part of the testing, potential countermeasures are proposed in case the Guardian in question goes rogue. The author states that the only possible way they can think to counteract Ikora is to cause her to doubt herself, then flood her with contradictory and high-stakes decisions. She will either paralyze herself or turn to raw fury, which at least is predictable. We also learn an interesting fact during this that there have been over 30 million Guardians to exist, which is way more than previously assumed. This identified weakness in Ikora is a big red flag, considering the entire book has been showcasing her internal doubts. Could these be death flags for the Warlock Vanguard going into the Witch Queen? Or is it simply a red herring, another deceit in the web of untruths being spun currently? Time will tell, and I will be here with you to explore that story when the time comes. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Lore to Go. This was a long one today, so I appreciate you if you stuck around for the whole thing. Leave me a comment down below on any theories you have based on what we learned today. I love hearing and debating future story beats with folks. Also, if you like this video, please like and subscribe to make sure you don't miss out on any future content. That's all for today though. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time.